If you are at the absolute end of your rope and you are crying, because generally speaking, it comes with a breakdown, and you are like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore. And every fiber of your being is on board with that, the universe hears that. And they don't give you more of the same shit. They give you a way out. Opportunities open in front of you. You have to see them. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to hurt. Hey witches, welcome to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy, a magical living podcast for the busy witch. I'm Morgan, eclectic witch of almost 25 years, Avalon priestess, and busy witch. Here we'll talk all things witchy, from current metaphysical happenings to my busy witch tips and tricks, and everything in the in-between. This podcast is my personal journey, filled with my knowledge, opinions, and unique way of looking at the world. Join me as I weave the magical and the mundane in every episode. Hey witches, welcome back to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy. I'm Morgan, and today I am wrapping things up for the year just a little bit. I know that according to my calculations, this episode should be coming out on Christmas Eve. So, as some of you know, my plan, I'm recording things back to back. I'm recording things a couple of weeks in advance because Colin and I are supposed to be driving east to visit my sister and spend Christmas with my sister and my little nieces. So I hopefully will be very happily watching Moana 2, cuddled up in blankets with my nieces at this moment. We'll see. I definitely plan to chronicle the journey on social media, mostly Instagram and my stories. So yeah, if you're like, what? You could just go there and see, how things have gone on. But this is how fun it is to run a business and to actually take time off of the business. Because let me tell you, I don't do that a lot. And so it means recording things back to back. So this episode should be coming out on Christmas Eve. And I have a really fun thing planned for the episode that's going to come out the 31st. So this is my time to wrap things up for 2025. 2025 for me was an absolutely massive year on so many different levels. And because of that, I really want to talk about and share the lessons and the things that I learned this year, because I am completely a different person than I was even when the year started. I have definitely entered a new identity, a new phase of my life, a new cycle of evolution. I don't know. I can call it like all of these things. And it is because of the ups and downs of 2025. And I truly feel like I've been reborn. So this year has taught me a lot. I'm going to share the biggest things with you all. I have, what is it? What did I come up with? 7. I have 7 like major things that I learned this year. They're not in any particular order. And we're going to get weird, okay? I want to say I started, hold on, what was episode 201? You guys, I'm recording so much in between this podcast and then Two Witches Talking with Megan Winkler. We are just like, I'm recording almost, my husband's like, didn't you just record episodes yesterday? I'm like, yeah, that was 2 episodes for my other podcast. So like, I'm recording so much content right now in like the span of about 2 weeks that I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know where I am. I don't know what day it is. So episode 201 was 6 things I wish I knew as a beginner witch. And I know I briefly talked about it then. Like, we're going to get a little weird in this episode where I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the crazy ass shit that I've learned this year. So yeah, buckle up maybe. I don't know. All right. These are in no particular order. But again, I have 7 big ass things that 2025 taught me. The first one. Oh, this was the big, I had 2 main shifts this year, and I will get to that. This is part of the first one, okay? You can't control everything, so fucking let it go, especially if you are a person who pushes forward, okay? I have said it a million times on my podcast. I am energetically, divine masculinely aligned. Yeah, that's the word. Divine masculinely. Yeah. I have like 7 planets or 8 planets, something. I have a very large amount in divine masculine placements, very small amount of divine feminine energy. So my entire life has been push, push, push. Okay. If I want something, I push for it. I'm an overachiever. I had my first nervous breakdown at age 19. Yeah. Probably had some before then too, but that's like the first one that actually put me in therapy. Um, so if you are push, 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 okay, you have to stop at some point. You have to slow down. You have to, let it go. Okay, so this lesson was taught to me. If you do follow me on social media, you know that earlier this year I had basically a Nigerian stalker online. This person had created a Facebook page called Morgan's Psychic Realm, and it went so much further than just a person trying to scam people and like who took my pictures. This person was actively taking pictures off of my Instagram, including screen recording my stories and posting them on their stories as if they were me. So that is how I went from this just being an impersonation or an imposter account to a stalker. And the page originated in Nigeria. So after finding this out in about March, okay, I didn't think anything of it until I started getting contacted by people who were saying, hey, I'm about to pay you $200 for this spell. I just want to make sure it's you. And they were contacting me on Instagram. And I'm like, that's not me. You're not talking to me on Facebook. And that's when I started paying attention and realizing that this person was screen recording my stories. So if I had posted a story on Instagram that day, they had screen recorded it and posted it on their Facebook page. So this person was truly stalking me, and my following. So I ended up paying for meta verification to make sure that I could get, because one of the things they offer with meta verification is imposter page protection. Oh my God. So from March, May, anyway, I would say it started in March and went until it was past my anniversary, which was July 31st. So into August. My anxiety skyrocketed. I had not seen my anxiety in quite a few years. It came back, and it came back with a vengeance, because I was on the phone with meta verification every night for weeks. This person would just continue to take my reels, take my stories, take pictures of me, they took pictures of my family, put them, like me with my family, put them on this fake page, and they were running ads, which was also like quite crazy. So it was just one of those things where, oh, sorry, hold on. I had some notifications popping up. I needed to get rid of. So if you heard all that clicking, that was me. It was just a very bad time for me. Okay, my anxiety went to a new level. It manifested all over again, or it came to light all over again, and it was absolutely horrible. And it was the worst it had even been before. Okay. So what I finally had to do, like every single night I was having panic attacks. Every single night the panic attacks were getting so bad I was throwing up. We thought for a while I had like a fish allergy or fish, and I still to this day, like I'm back to eating fish now, so we're good. But it just so happened that on the nights that my husband and I ate fish or shrimp or sushi, something along those lines, were the nights that I threw up. There still might have been a correlation there, but I don't know. Anyway, from March until August, it was so bad. And the worst part of it that I realized through all of it, my anxiety got worse at night, because this is the only time I could actually get somebody from Meta Verification, a customer service rep, to answer me. During the day, they were so backlogged that I would have to wait until night, and my wait was only like 3 minutes before I was connected with somebody. They finally did, after about a month of going through this, they finally took it down. They had to, route it a certain way for it to actually be taken down. The page was taken down. It's popped up quite a few times since then, and it's immediately taken down every time. But what ended up happening is the repercussions from going through this of not, basically the violation of this was not just an impersonation page. I deal with those every day. That's not a big deal. This was someone actively stalking me and telling people that they were me. They weren't Ink Goddess Creations. They weren't the owner of Ink Goddess Creations. They were Morgan. And that's where I felt violated. I felt like my identity had been ripped from me and I couldn't do anything about it. You know, like I was just having to wait for Meta and Facebook to put things through the correct channels, which they did. And it eventually got taken down. But from March until August, however many months that is, I was in so much pain, like emotionally, mentally, physically. It turned my life upside down. And the only way that it stopped, because I think that they finally took the page down. I don't know when they finally took the page down. It was longer than a month. I think it was from a month of me, like, once I had contacted them. So I think it probably took 2 months for them to take it down total, but it was like a month of me calling or like contacting them every single night. I had to learn the hard way that I can't control this. There's nothing I can do. So I needed to just let it go because it had literally controlled and consumed me. So that was one of the biggest things. You can't control everything, so fucking let it go. Okay. And I'll get to other lessons that time period taught me when we get into it even more. Okay. Number 2, quantum leaps, timeline shifts, quantum manifestation, whatever you want to call it. It's fucking real, you guys. It sounds like bullshit. And I touched on this last week. It sounds like bullshit. It 100% does. I know it does because I was like, these people are fucking crazy. What are you talking about? Quantum leaps or timeline shift, or let me timeline shift into a new identity. And it's real. It's so real. It's real from the standpoint that in order to create a new future for yourself, in order to move forward in life, you have to adapt new identities as you go along, okay? And shed identities that you had to create for survival, okay? And that's another thing I learned too, is like, for example, from March until August, when my anxiety was at an all-time high, I had shifted into survival mode. So I was, I wasn't doing any, the minute I got home at night, that was it. I was cocooning. I had a very specific routine. If that routine was fucked up, then my whole night was ruined pretty much. I barely ate once I got home. I had shifted into this person that was completely riddled with anxiety, but I was in survival mode, just to get me to the next day. So just as much as you can shift identities into one, you can create a personality or you can create an identity for survival. You can also let go of that, understand that you created that version of yourself to protect you and so that you can move forward in life. But you can also shed that and become the person who the opportunities you want open for you. Okay. And a lot of people call this quantum leaping, or you can quantum leap into your next life. Quantum manifestation, it just means doing it really fast, identity shifting, timeline shifting. They're all buzzwords, but what it comes down to is basically as I was getting through the anxiety stuff. So this would have been like July into August. Stuff started popping up on my news feed about quantum shifting so much. And I had never mentioned anything about it, So that's when I realized that whatever this was, like all these posts started coming up. And at the time, you say quantum manifestation, you say quantum leaping to me, and my eye would twitch because I was like, that is such bullshit. And so all this stuff started coming up and I'm like, what the fuck is it doing coming up, right? And that's when I was listening to a podcast one day and she mentioned the quantum crumble. And I was like, what? And that's what caught my attention because she said, if you're in the middle of a quantum leap, which is basically, to put it into layman's terms, you are on the verge of your manifestation. Like if you've been trying to manifest something huge, like a major life change, and you are on the verge of it, then that is what a quantum leap is. This next step that you take without any evidence that it's going to be there. It's just like a knowing within you. And you decide, fuck it, I'm going to take that leap. And what ends up happening is your whole world gets flipped upside down, okay? Because all of the things that that no longer serve this new version of you will fall to the wayside. They will crumble around you, okay? People that are not aligned with you will exit your life. Structures that you thought were steady will crumble so that you can build new structures. So she was talking about it in the terms of, if you take a quantum leap and you decide, I'm gonna do this. This is the person I want to be, and you take that leap, you make that decision of, I'm going to be this person now, then the quantum crumble happens, because you have to get rid of anything that's not aligned with that person that you want to be. And she was like, oh, the quantum crumble can come across as severe anxiety, people that are no longer aligned with you leaving your life, jobs or things that you really didn't want are, crumbling away. Like you lose those so that you can make way for other things. And like your whole world just basically gets flipped upside down. And I'm in the middle of this, happening. And I'm like, you have my attention. So that's when it all clicked. And I understand that it sounds crazy. Timeline shifting, quantum leaps, quantum manifestation. I get it. But it took someone on a podcast to put it into terms for me that made me understand, like, oh, so this just means when you've had enough, and I'll get to that too, because that was a major lesson for me in 2025. When you're like, I no longer want to fucking do this anymore, something has to fucking change, and you truly surrender it over. And you're like, that's it, I'm going to be a new person, or I don't want to be this person anymore. That's the leap that you're taking. You have no fucking clue what's on the other side. And honestly, you don't care, because you cannot continue to do what you're doing. Okay? I'm going to get more into that later. That's your quantum leap. Call it whatever you want, but that's the quantum leap. And then what happens is things that are aligned with you will be attracted to you. Things that are not aligned to you will crumble away. And that shit hurts, and it is painful, okay? Quantum leaps are not beautiful. You're not leaping on a little rainbow and there's a pot of gold at the other end. No, that's this podcast, and I can't remember who it was I was listening to at the time, but she called it the quantum crumble, and I loved it. But that was how I can honestly say, like, my anxiety lasted from March until August. And then in August, done. About halfway through August, done, because I said it was done. It was the craziest thing. And I know if you have not lived something like this, you're going to be listening to me right now like, oh, Lord, Morgan's lost it. Like, she just said her anxiety was going to be done, and bam, her anxiety was done. But I took the steps to embody this new identity, this person that was not going to have anxiety anymore. I also went on, just full disclosure here, the absolute lowest dose of an anxiety med, not an antidepressant, not anything, it was an anxiety med. The absolute low dose humanly possible, like for an adult, which I think helped me override the physical symptoms that were happening every night now because of the the mind-body connection. So because I was having panic attacks every night, then even without the external stimuli, my body still was having panic attacks every night, even if I wasn't on chat with Meta, if I wasn't, trying to get the stalker out of my life. You just have that brain-body connection. So my body was forcing me into panic attacks every night, even if my mind was fine. So I had to break that mind-body connection, and that's what the anxiety med helped me do. So I did start doing that, but it was from August forward that I took this quantum leap. I understood everything. I took a step back and looked at everything and went, oh, that's what's happening in my life, and I accepted it. Okay, so that shit is real. It really, truly is real. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else to like send you forward on that if you want to learn more. Um, Maybe I can think of some stuff. You'll have to let me know if like you do want to know more information. Maybe I can add to like the show notes or something. And once I figure out, who the podcast was, all of that. But that was the second thing. Quantum leaps, timeline shifts, quantum manifestation. They're not bullshit. So keep an open mind. Okay. Number 3, you can't help people who don't want help. I've watched a few people in 2025 absolutely crumble and start drowning. And, like metaphorically. And I tried. I sent so many life jackets, rafts. Here's a boat. Here's my hand. I can pull you up. I can help you. If they don't want help, you cannot help them. You can't force help on somebody. So the only thing that you have to do is stop helping, because all that you're doing at this point is hurting yourself. The person is making the decision to not have help, not get help. And so their hurt cycle is their own, and they'll just continue to spiral and cycle through it until it clicks with them. Okay? You can't force a concept to click with someone, because they will reject it every time. They'll even yell at you. So it's their lesson to learn. You cannot make them learn that lesson. They're going to learn the lesson however they're going to learn the lesson. Okay? So stop putting yourself through the pain of trying to help them if they don't want help. You won't be able to help them. You can be there for them. You can say, when you're ready for help, I'm here. But you cannot force someone to help themselves, or you cannot force help onto somebody unless they're ready for it. Okay. Number 4, shifts are more powerful when you decide who you won't be anymore. Okay. So I will say this, I'm going to tell you this, and this is even going to contradict some things that I have said in my past podcast episodes. It's going to contradict some things I've taught in Ink Spirit Coven. But if you're a beginner witch, please, I would say don't listen to this right now, but you'll figure it out in your own way, okay, when it's appropriate for you to adopt this mindset, okay? In the past, I have preached here on the podcast, preached in Ink Spirit Coven, everything, that the universe only works in positives, okay? So when you are saying something like, I don't want anxiety anymore, the universe hears, I want anxiety, and it continues. Now, that is still true. The premise of where your attention flows, your energy goes. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Anyway, I don't exactly know that. I want to say it was Tony Robbins that said that, but don't hold me to that either. That is still true, okay? So like if you have money problems and all you're focusing on are money problems, then you just get dealt more money problems, okay? But the universe works in energy, okay? So sometimes it doesn't matter how you phrase something for the universe to listen. They are going to match your energy. So if you decide one day, hey, I want to be a person who identifies as a fitness person with nutrition and so that I can lose weight, and that works for you, then that is great, because energetically you have to get online with it. But hold on, let me flip my page. If you are at the absolute end of your rope and you are crying, because generally speaking, it comes with a breakdown, and you are like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore. And every fiber of your being is on board with that. The universe hears that. And they don't give you more of the same shit. They give you a way out. Opportunities open in front of you. You have to see them. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to hurt, because it means in order for you to truly embrace the person that you're wanting to become, not everyone's going to go on that journey with you. Not everything is going to go on that journey with you. But if you know that it's the right thing for you and you truly feel it in all of your everything, your mind, body, soul, all of it, the universe listens to that. So you can say, I don't want to be this person anymore. And the universe, if your energy is aligned with that and you are truly surrendering yourself over, the universe doesn't hear, I want to be that. I want to continue to be that, because your energy is screaming, I'm done. I don't know what else to do. Please guide me. Okay. So that's what I mean. That's what I had to do. Okay. My other biggest shift. So the two biggest shifts that I had this year were, the first one was my anxiety. And for me, it was the shift that anxiety, for me was equaling this quantum crumble, which equaled letting go and resting, letting shit happen, letting shit play out as it needed to be, because there was nothing else I could do. Okay. That was my first biggest shift that started the ball rolling in the correct direction for me. The second one was I hit a point of burnout this year on a level I've never hit before. And Colin hit it as well. And I can remember him saying to me, I'm just tired, Morgan. I'm tired of doing the same shit every day and the business not moving forward. And I said, dude, you think I'm not tired? I'm tired of doing more work every single day and trying to fix this and trying to get this rolling and trying to do that and not ever doing what I truly wanted to do. Like, I'm still having to do this and this and this, but I want to be doing this and I can't because I'm doing all this little stuff. I'm like, if you think I love being on this hamster wheel, you're wrong. I don't want to do this anymore either. And it took me having that burnout and having that physical, mental, emotional, spiritual exhaustion for me to go, I don't want to be on this hamster wheel anymore with my business. I want to continue the business. The business is my dream. The business is my passion. I love what I do, but something's got to change. And I don't fucking know what that is, but something's got to change. And completely surrendering over to that was the first step. That was the first step of the quantum leap that I had taken. Now, mind you, you have got to understand this is 2 quantum leaps within the course of about a month or 2 of each other. So the summer for me was like, what the fuck? I had so much shit crumbling away, people that didn't align with me, with the business, crumbling away, structures falling apart so that we could build them. It was like one thing after another. The summer was fucking crazy. And emotionally, I'm in this anxiety riddled place. The business is all over the place. We've got shit. So much was happening this summer. But that's when I decided, in deciding who I wasn't going to be anymore, it makes you realize, okay, if I'm not going to do this anymore and I'm not going to be this person anymore, then who am I going to be? And the direction, and after letting go and after taking the leap and after then silencing the shit around me, which I'm going to get to down a little bit further, my path forward was made very clear and my wishes forward were made very clear to me. And then it was almost like okay, well, I'm not going to be that person anymore because fuck that. This is who I'm going to be from this point forward. And I felt it in every fiber of my being, my energy, my mental state, my emotional state, my spiritual state, everything celebrated. It was like my guides and everything were like, she finally gets it. Because I literally, for me, when I finally get something, I get it, and therefore I'm done. Like, I'm done doing it the old way. It is literally a switch that I can flip within me. Okay? Like, once you start identity shifting and you start quantum leaping and you start quantum manifesting and you get it, it does become easier after that. And then it turns from, okay, well, yeah, I don't want to embody this energy anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore. So therefore, I do want to be this person. Okay, well, I'll be this person. And it's that quick. You just make that decision and you wake up the next morning and you are performing the things that that person would do. Okay. So for me, it was opening up the way I like to look at it is you don't have a desire within you unless you've already achieved it. And I think I said that in the identity shifting episode, which I don't know when that was, but yeah. So like, I don't have anything inside. I always use this example too. I have nothing inside of me that wants to be an astronaut. Not a damn thing. And I don't even like planes. I don't like flying, which is why we're driving across country to my sister's house for the holidays because I fucking hate flying. I like my feet on the ground. I'm good. So I have nothing in me that wants to be an astronaut. So that future or that version of me being an astronaut does not exist in this lifetime. Okay? But I really want to be a very successful CEO where I have a big team that runs things for me and I get to teach and be part of the Spirit Coven and teach in there and do my podcast and just create pretty things. That lives inside of me. Yeah. So that may not live inside of you. You're sitting here listening to that like, nope, I don't have anything inside of me that wants to run my own business. Then that's not a part of you. But since I have that in me, I know that it already exists somewhere in the future. That version of me exists. So all I have to do is open up the pathway between me and her. So she can tell me how did you get here? So that's what timeline shifting is. And that's what they say. It's basically just opening up a pathway. You're a witchy person. You believe in messages coming down to you or, guidance from your cards, your higher self, your future self, whatever you want to call it. So that's what timeline shifting is you just open yourself to that version of you that has it already. And you say, hey, can you help me out? Can you send me directions? And then you listen. That's the key. So you'll have these little ideas pop up for little things you have to do to get in that direction because this is what I believe. Your future self is sending you that information because you opened up. That's what they mean by timeline shifting. It's like a future version of you coming to visit, and time travel to you to give you the instructions, but it's not. You're just opening up an energetic pathway to that person. And it comes in like dreams. It comes in little intuitive hits. It comes in little things where you're like, all of a sudden one day, literally happened to me. I was like, we need to focus on our Pinterest more. Literally. And now I know that these little things pop in for me because that's what my future self did to get me to where I want to be. So we have seriously revamped our Pinterest here at Ink Goddess Creations. If you are looking, and it's all me, it's me doing it because I'm fucking loving doing it right now. So you can head to pinterest.com/inkedgoddesscreations. If you ever had the old version bookmarked, it was a very long, stupid URL. I changed it. They let me change it to Ink Goddess Creations. It was like Ink Goddess Shop before or something. It was stupid. It's Ink Goddess Creations now. I'm pouring a lot of stuff into it because it's beautiful. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's basically what Instagram used to be back in the day. So anyway, yeah, this is what happens. Okay. And until you get until you understand timeline shifting, identity shifting, and can do it like this, sometimes it takes a breakdown and it takes you going, I don't want to be this person anymore for those strongest shifts to happen. Okay. Number 5. I know this is going to be a long one today, you guys, because I love talking about this shit. Okay. For me, creativity is key to my sanity. Yes, that was made very apparent for me over and over and over again. So in these quiet moments, I realized that for me, whenever I was feeling extremely overwhelmed or extremely burned out or on the verge of burnout, it is because I was having to do the mundane shit that I hate doing, and I was not able to do the things that I loved doing, which is creating content, creating products, creating classes, creating gorgeous little posts for Pinterest or Instagram or whatever, creating reels, TikToks. If I was not creating, I was miserable. And that's when I got down to the bottom of my overwhelm and my burnout. This is what was made apparent to me. It was like you follow that thread down, like, okay, I'm burned out. Okay, but really, what am I burned out about? Or why do I feel overwhelmed? I feel overwhelmed because my to-do list of shit that I hate doing is a mile long, and I never get to the stuff that I really truly enjoy doing, which is creation. And it all came back to creation and creativity for me. Sacral chakra, all of it. And that's where your magic comes from. So that's why I was spiritually burned out as well. It was all connected. Okay. So for me, I figured that out. So for you, it might be something different, but you should figure out what you have to do in order to stay happy, stay aligned, stay all of that. For me, it's creating. Number 6, my body is a portal, not an afterthought. Yeah, this one was pretty apparent to me this year. My anxiety flare made me rest. It made me rest. I'm a go, go, go person. I'm a do, do, do person. I'm a work, work, work person. Okay, I physically could not get out from under my cocoon when my panic attacks hit in the evenings. So my anxiety made me rest, okay? It made me get out of my head, because anxiety lives in the head first, then it moves to the body. It made me get out of my head and into my body. When I would get out of my head of the racing thoughts, and I got into my body, really truly into my body, I would be like, okay, Morgan, are you in fight or flight right now? Is there a big dinosaur chasing after you? And I'd be like, no. Like, okay. Are you relaxed in your body? How's your heart rate? How's your breathing? Do you have any discomfort anywhere in your body? And I would be laying there and I would check my heart rate on my little watch, and I would take a few deep breaths, and then I would scan, and I'd be like, no, I don't have any pain right now. Like, okay, I'm good. And that was another way I got through the physical symptoms and everything of anxiety as well. But once I got into my body, okay, so once I rested, I got into my body. Once I got into my body, that's divine feminine energy, my friends. Divine masculine energy keeps you in your head. It keeps processing. It keeps you analyzing. It keeps you fixing problems. Okay, that is all divine masculine aligned energy. Divine feminine energy is in your body. What am I feeling? What am I intuiting? Okay, so panic attacks made me rest, which got me into my body, which got me into the divine flow, feminine flow, which opened up every fucking door. It blew wide open. It is no coincidence to me that I tell you all, from March until August, I was a ball of anxiety and crazy shit. Then in August was when all of this quantum, all of it, the shifting, all of it was made apparent to me. We were contacted within the first 2 weeks of September by Inked magazine to be a part of their Halloween editorial, our subscription box to be a part of the editorial, and to have a brand feature done by them. A brand feature of my brand from Inked fucking magazine. Like, what? Oh, like, as a former tattoo artist and as someone who is tattooed and part of the tattoo culture, Inked fucking magazine reached out to us? Yes. Okay? It is it is not a fucking coincidence that this happened in the first 2 weeks of September, because of the shifting I had done throughout the summer. But in August, everything became clear to me. And I was like, oh shit. Well, this is who I want to be now. I want to be the CEO of an extremely successful business where people know my business's name. They know who we are. They know what we do. They trust us. And I can grow my team so that I can focus on the shit that I want to focus on. 2 weeks later-ish, Ink Magazine reached out to do features on us. That's how fast it happens when you understand energy embodiment, timeline shifting, identity shifting, quantum leap, quantum manifestation, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay? So that leads me, but it started with rest. and getting into divine feminine flow, trusting my intuition, seeing where the little doorways and the little intuitive hits were opening up for me. Okay. Which leads me into the next thing. Authenticity is key. This is number 7. This year, I identified my feral witchiness. That was another thing this summer. I was really trying to figure myself out spiritually. And I was like, you know what? The word that kept coming up to me over and over again was feral. I'm fucking feral. One minute I will do this, the next minute I will do this. And then for the next spell, I might do something completely different. And I understand that's technically the definition of chaos magic. But for me, the word feral is more primal. I got into myself, down into my body even further. And I said, what do you want to tell me? Okay. For me, my feral witchiness, no rules, embodied magic, not hiding myself, standing up for myself and my wishes. Okay. Once I identified this aspect of myself, this feral witch that wanted to be let free, it's like I discovered the cheat code to manifesting. Yeah. The cheat code to upgrading, the cheat code to, magic, honestly. And like I said, the results were fast. When I tell you that I went through all of this in August, and within the first 2 weeks of September, we were contacted by Inked Magazine, that is how fast it happened. Since September, okay, since Inked Magazine reached out to us, we also had a writer from Forbes magazine reach out to us to include one of our products in their in a holiday gift guide. Forbes magazine. You guys, my entire year has shifted. My entire trajectory for the business has shifted all this year. That's what I mean by my year has shifted. That didn't make sense. My entire trajectory, my life, the future of my business, everything shifted in 2025. This was one of the most biggest years for me. And for me, it was getting out of my head into my body, getting into that feral witch energy, feeling true and authentic energy from myself, and then expressing it. I was like, I'm not going to fucking hide anymore. I'm not going to hide who I am. I'm not going to allow people to walk on me or anything, take advantage of me anymore. This is who I am. This is what I want. And if you do not like it, we don't have to communicate anymore. And that's, I guess you could say I found my, nope, I am not going to cry. I am not going to cry. I found my self-worth in 2025. Not going to cry, which is cool because my word of the year was sovereignty, which is sovereignty is your power, your royalty, that's what I found. Sovereignty was my word for 2025. And that is what I found, my power in 2025. So, I am going to pivot real quick just to let you all know that number 7, this authenticity is key. This embodying my feral witchiness, who I am down at my core. This is why, if you look down in the show notes, you will see that I have launched a feral witch energy embodiment class. It is just $27. This is a class that gets you out of your head, deep into your body to unlock your feral witch energy and create magic from this space. Okay. I took what I've been through this year and put it into an embodiment class for just $27. So you will find the link down there. It is something that I am extremely happy to launch out into the world. It's a pre-recorded, like, one video class, and then there's a PDF included. I will let you know that just because I am recording so far in the future, I'm still putting tweaks on the exact. I haven't decided yet if there will be an MP3, not be an MP3. It depends on time. But there's a video and there is a PDF. Okay. It's just $27. And the Patreon bonus for this week, the Patreon bonus content is actually a $5 off coupon code. So hopefully you didn't go immediately click off of my podcast and go click onto it, because if you are a paid Patreon member, you get $5 off the class, bringing it down to $22. Okay. It's a self-study thing too. There's nothing live. You have it, always. You can do it whenever you want to do it, as many times as you want to. Okay. But the Patreon bonus will make it just $22. So, what you also get as a paid Patreon member is a shout out on my podcast. So I want to thank Amanda and Willow for being new paid Patreon members. So you can head to patreon.com/inkedgoddesscreations to sign up. It has to be at least the $5 a month tier. And yeah, look at that. You sign up for $5, you get the $5 code, but you also get all the past content, for the podcast and all that good stuff. So I hope to see you all sign up. I'm really excited about this class. Putting it together was so much fun. So yeah. And if my vibe is something that you do vibe with, I would love to have you in the Ink Spirit Coven. That's my online membership program where I teach a lesson and a workshop every month. And we also have a sacred space. The whole community is on the Circle app, so it's off of the prying eyes of Facebook. So yeah, starting in January, we're going to be getting into more of the earth energy. So I'm not going to lie, I don't know at the moment. I'm getting January and February confused. So there's like natural altars, and then there's stones and bones. And yeah, that's what's coming up in the first part of the year. So if you want to join, please head to inkedspirit.com to learn more, and love to have you. I want to thank you all for listening, for being here, for giving me a platform. Please like, share, subscribe. It helps us out so much. It sends the podcast out further to other magically curious people and lets them know, hey, this is really cool. So if you could do that, that would help us out. Yeah, I have one more for 2025, and then it'll be 2026. I cannot believe we're already at the end of the year. So thank you all for spending this year with me. I will see you all next week. Bye.